did. Locally, I've got my article vote branch here. Can you all see my screen okay? Is it big enough?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. And this is where I've been working for the last few days. So I did a rebase with Sempreti, and this history looks quite okay. But then what I tried to do was to push my change, and it wouldn't allow me to do that. It was saying I potentially could lose history, and I thought, oh dear, has something changed, or have I
Right.
screwed up somewhere?
No. This is absolutely normal. The reason why it is happening is because usually when you make the next commit, it gets appended to your repo. When you do a rebase, basically, as I was explaining, you're taking the commits off, you're putting the commits from develop, and then you're putting your commits on top. So basically, you're mixing the commits around. And that means, you cannot just append to your repo. You have to overwrite your repo. And that's what happens when you do a push -f, which makes, okay, just overwrite my repo. It warns you about it because you are overwriting it, but you still have all the history. If you have all the history in your local branch, you'll have it in your repo too.
Yeah. So I didn't do that, and that's what I should have done. So what I did was I created a new branch called try pull, and then I pulled the origin from the origin my article vote branch into there, and this is what I pushed up into the article vote branch after sorting out the conflicts, and that's what I did this morning. The reason I'm not happy with it is if I swap quickly here, git. I mean, if you look at these changes, they might you can see some of it. Let me just bring that up again so I can see that properly. Okay, so you're getting a fairly good order here. Here's the 23rd, 22nd changes. Then there's a bit. Then there's a gap down to June where I left off, and then further down you can see the start. There are some here. When we first started, we might have started in slightly the incorrect way because you can see that there's been some older work back down there. Now, if I switch to git check, what do I call it? Try pull.
Just do autocomplete. Just hit tab. It should show you.
This is what I see now, and it doesn't look as clean because okay, it's got my changes here which are actually running along this branch.
This is actually called racing tracks, what you see on the left.
Oh, okay.
And racing track is basically, that's the disadvantage of merging. Because you don't have a linear history. You have like this track, which is another person working on another branch in parallel with you. And then at some point you merge and then you diverge. And that's where you get this, wavy tracks. And that's where rebasing is beneficial. You just have linear history.
Yeah, because you can see it expands out down here.
And go on forever, almost.
Although I have done, there are merges in here, merge with the latest development upstream for bug fix, etc., etc. Now, if I go to, so then I pushed that up deliberately to the my article vote branch, and Travis picked it up and did the build, and it works, and it's that code which is actually you were running, John. So it actually works, but I'm not happy with it. What I'd really like to do is ignore this try pull, go back to my article vote, and
Mm-hmm.
try that force push up. But I wanted to talk to people about it because that was Travis will pick up my push and start another build, and there might be a problem or conflict or something in that, and I didn't want to sort of put up what I did this morning and then start fiddling with it and people thinking, well, what the hell is he up to?
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, until you get a green arrow against your pull request, nobody is really interested. What are you fiddling around there? I mean, anybody
Okay,
can do anything.
well, that's good to know. I mean, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about it, because um, it's it didn't.
No.
I
It's
didn't. I didn't
absolutely.
want somebody to waste their time doing something to this, and for me to start fiddling with it. And should I close this down, finish it off? Um, I'll show you why I don't like this. Now, if I have a look at the commits over here
Right.
in this history, um, it's a lot higher commit count from, I think, more authors, um, and the order doesn't really seem right. Um, and also, if I look at the files, I've got files and people who've contributed which actually don't make sense at all. So, okay, this gem file, that's my change. I did do this little change to the CSS, but this stuff, nothing to do with me.
Mm-hmm.
These minuses and these
Yeah,
pluses.
that's because you've done a merge. You've done a three-way merge, so you've combined your changes with other people's changes, and now you are putting that on top of all develop.
Yeah. So this is why I want to back out of this, because
You know,
this file, nothing to do with me.
guys,
But
can
yeah.
so I did a rebase after I originally submitted my project or my feature for what do you call it, for PR pull request. And so if you look at my screen, you'll see I also I have some dequirking. I guess that's David. Some
Mm-hmm.
of his changes in mine from, I guess that's yesterday, right, 23rd. So even though I did a rebase versus a merge, it still did the same thing. So I don't know if you'd see any. The
No,
rest of
John.
it.
I think
Oh, okay.
I think actually there's something that you've done which wasn't quite rebase.
That's possible, but
Because
I don't.
if you go to any of my commits, you'll see that all the commits are only done by me, unless I was pairing with somebody. But all the commits are related to the story, not related to something else. And from what I
Okay.
can see, the commits you have there, the last 6 commits, came into your pull request from a merge.
Oh, maybe.
In fact, we can easily tell that if you go to your console, if you check out into this branch and do git log, I can show you where it merged.
Okay. A sec. Switch screens here. Oh, branch. Okay. And you want me to do git log? So
Yep.
okay.
Right. Okay, let's see. So, right. Better if you do git history.
Have you got that alias set up?
Oh, what is it?
I've
Git
got it
free?
set up to hist, but that's because
What's the original one?
I've set an alias up on mine.
Try git reflog. Reflog, yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, let's have. Well, this is not quite it, but this is the log of what was going on in your repo. What you were doing.
Wow.
All your moves are recorded basically. Now
Wow.
check out, commit, rebase. Oops.
I don't know which way is the most recent.
Recent is at the top.
Oh, okay.
Right. So somewhere, So let's go right to the top, and from the top,
As close to the top as I
from the
can
top,
get, I
look
guess.
down, and let's see. Check out, commit, rebase, commit, rebase. Oh, well, maybe it's a bit lower. I can see that you've been doing rebasing. Okay, and further down.
Oh, it's repeating the same thing again and again.
That's because you've been doing rebasing several times, I guess.
No, if you look look at this after skipping DDA 9EOO, and if I scroll down a bit,
Hey, that's
again
weird.
D.
Why? Why is it doing that?
I don't know. Maybe it's to work with the console on.
But anyway, I mean, let's not lose time here. Let's just do it the
Yeah.
right way. Let's just do it the right way anyway. So,
Okay.
I mean, we can, as an example, we can do it with Christian, and you can just watch how
Okay.
how to do it properly.
Okay. Yep.
Now, yeah, another question. The question is, Christian. The question is, why? I mean, why are you concerned about the history?
Well, it's confusing for me, and I thought it would be confusing for anybody looking at that, because
Right.
it looks like there's files in there to do with and changes to do with my change, and there's just nothing to do with it.
Right. Well, I mean, the practice that people use in production in commercial companies is you commit as often as you like. I mean, ideally after a small change, so you can revert back and you have a look what was going on. But when you're ready to push, you do an interactive rebase, which means you just look at all your commits and combine some commits into one, split some commits into two, and basically out of 20 commits, compile it down to say 5-6 commits. Because when you push it to the repo, the first thing people are concerned about is the final result. Is the thing working? The next thing they're concerned about the changes in the code. They don't really care across how many commits these changes are. If you've done all the changes in one commit, fine. If you've done it in 50 commits, fine. But when it goes to the when it goes as a pull request, it's better if you keep down the number of commits to say, I don't know, about not more than 10.
Okay.
Because to be honest, nobody is really interested about how you would
Or if I made a typo, which I did, for
nobody is really
example.
interested what path you were taking. Did you start on this first or on this first? Doesn't matter.
Yeah. But what I was concerned about, if you look at my screen, is it says articles helper, and there's some changes here, and they're completely unrelated.
Yeah, I can see those are my changes, and they came from a merge, which is absolutely right, because as I said, this is a three-way merge.
Yeah.
Where all your changes plus all changes from all the other people got squashed together, which is not a good idea. So, yeah, and another thing, if you would have done a push-f to your original repo, you would end up just with the same result as you have in a separate repo. Because the original stuff is in your local repo. It doesn't matter how you push it. Either you push it to an existing one with a push F, or you push it to a new one. You're still pushing the same stuff.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be the solution, or the way for me to go forward now, and that is it not, that I just do a push origin article vote with the -F flag, and that will override everything I've got in my GitHub branch.
Yeah, but I mean, and your GitHub branch will have all these changes from other people and stuff. It will be identical to what you have now in your other branch, the try one.
So there's no way, once you do a rebase, there's no way to get around the fact that you're going to have contributions from other people on their pushes or their pull requests that have been approved, right?
Pardon? Come again?
Their contributions to develop, since their contributions to the rebase, those are going to show up under the files changed, regardless of whether you do a rebase or a
No. I mean, if you do
right?
a rebase properly, then your pull request will only have changes from you and only you.
Okay.
I mean,
So why is it?
That's the whole idea of rebase.
I think my problem here, John, is the fact that I did a rebase 2 days ago, and then I did a merge today and pushed that result up there.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, so if Christian goes back to his branch that he did not do a merge on, right? Do you have a branch that you didn't do a merge on or not?
I do, and that's the.
You can unwind back. I mean, that's exactly what reflog is for. You can just unwind back to any point in time, before any action you took.
So if he rewinds before the merge and then does the rebase, then that would be the approach?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I actually think I need to go back to my article vote branch, which I've just done now, because as far as I'm concerned, there might be one little error I need to fix in this, but that's a proper error which I need to fix. As far as I'm concerned, article vote is fairly clean. It's had the, if I do a ref log on there, pipe it into less. Okay, there's me mucking around here trying to sort the problem out after I discovered it this morning, but all I was doing was pulling onto other branches. Here's the bad thing I did, and probably just before it was when I and here's the rebase set I was doing.
Okay, so this branch is clean then.
I think this is a clean branch. You've got all these rebases, and what am I doing? Upstream develop. It's a shame there isn't a date on this line, so I can see when that is. But I mean, this is a recent change I've done in the last few days.
Well, let's rebase this branch then.
Okay. And what do I rebase it against?
Against develop, always.
Okay. So let's pull down.
Yeah, that's a good call. Pull down the latest develop first.
Upstream. Yeah.
Yep. And develop :develop, just to make sure that you pull it into develop.
Ooh.
Okay.
Did I do that? I've done it now. Where did that go?
No, it's okay. It created a new branch develop. Thing is, I mean, usually Git is quite clever about, you're telling Git pull upstream develop, which means take the develop from upstream and put it somewhere. Usually it's quite clever about where it puts it, but I always specify where to put it myself, just to make sure.
So doing that would have been good, wouldn't it?
Git pull upstream develop :develop. Yeah, that is just make sure you put it onto develop, not anywhere else.
Yeah.
That particularly makes sense when you want to push your local branch to your repo, but give it a different name.
Yes, that's what I did actually. If I look here, oh no, it's not that one.
Yeah, but I see what you mean. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I create a couple of. So anyway, you think it should be this one should be up to date now. CF.
Yeah, yeah.
Get it
This
now.
developer is up to date now.
Okay. And I'm on this
So
one.
now if you do git rebase, so if you do git rebase dash I, which stands for interactive.
Like that.
Yeah, that means rebase my branch against develop, but do it interactively. Let me choose the commits and let me see what's going on.
Got it. Huge.
Right, I lost your screen for some reason. Oh yeah, got it back. Okay, cool. Okay, so right. So this one is showing you, yeah. So about the interactive rebase. So this is showing you all the commits you want to work with. And what the good thing about interactive rebase, you can change pick. It gives you some instructions at the bottom of the file telling you how to work with this. But basically, you can change pick into squash, and that would merge two commits together into one commit. You can just delete a line, and that will throw a commit away. Things like that. So this is great, and this is great for like squashing your 25 commits into 5 commits.
Okay, and to do that, I just put an S or a squash at the beginning of the line.
You rename. Instead of pick, you write squash. Maybe you can. Yeah, I guess you can put just one letter. But for now, let's leave all those commits there. And Oh, by the way, that's another thing. When you're rebasing 25 commits against develop, it's a different matter than when you're rebasing 5 commits against develop. You get asked 5 times less, about things.
Yeah.
But let's do it anyway.
I'm a little unsure. You see, let me explain where my article vote branch actually is. I did this a rebase, 12:15 rebase continues and something the other day with Sempretti, and got to the modern state 2 days ago. And then I've spent 2 days implementing all the suggestions. And now I'm at a stage where I don't particularly want to do another set of rebases or
don't worry about it. Because once you've done a rebase 2 days ago, that means you already have all the changes in your branch. If there were any more changes, then in develop now, then you'll be dealing only with those changes, but not the ones you've dealt with already.
Okay.
It's okay. So for now you just do. I don't know what edit is this. Is this Vim?
It's fine, yeah.
Excellent. So you just save and close the file, and it starts the rebase.
Okay, let's do that. Right quick.
Yeah, just do :WQ.
Yeah. The previous cherry pick is now empty, possibly due to conflict resolution. If you wish to commit it anyway, use commit allow empty.
Right. Okay. So basically, it counted some kind of a problem. Usually, it counts merge conflicts, but you had an empty commit there. Do git status or status, whatever, and we'll see the file. So before you do git rebase continue, you need to make sure that all the files are committed.
Okay.
Nothing to commit, is it?
Yeah, there's nothing there. Clean. Nothing to commit. Clean working directory.
Right. Okay. Try git rebase dash continue.
The error here is says could not apply this particular commit. Empty commit. Okay.
Try to continue. If there is a problem, then it will tell you, to do something about it. Okay, we have the same problem. I guess just try git commit dash allow empty. Ah, right, okay. So if you just save and close this commit, it will commit this empty file. Somebody was restarting their Travis. Okay, so now I can do git rebase continue. Ah, yeah, that's why we didn't see any files in the git status because it's an empty commit.
Oh yes. Okay.
That's it. Successfully rebased. That's
Ah.
your rebase done because there weren't any. The develop has updated. It has some new stuff in it, but it didn't get into conflict with any of your stuff. So the rebase just worked.
That was
That's it.
perfect. So now I need to push it up to the remote.
Yeah, and you would use git push -f.
Git. I give the local.
Oh, you need -f after push.
Okay, I won't press the button until I've done this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I give the remote just to be unambiguous or explicit. So if I try this, I think I'm going to see the error I saw this morning.
Yeah. Because
And it
you're not
won't
just trying to append another commit, but you're actually trying to to push quite a few commits and old ones too.
I'm going to sort that out one day.
John, are you sort of picking up the idea of what's going on?
Yeah, I'm listening in.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
good.
this is exactly the error I got, which pushed me down the wrong path.
It's not an error. It's more of a warning. Just
Warning.
beware what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. So in order to avoid that, I use the -f option because I think I know better than Git. Right. So now,
Let's refresh the page on your pull request and have a look at the commit list.
oh, my internet's getting slow. Right. So where are we? So if I have a look here,
Oh,
it should.
but you refresh the page just in case. Sometimes you press back and it doesn't refresh the push. Like I've encountered it several times. Like I did a push, but hey, just saw the same files.
So should it not say building somewhere or something like that?
At the bottom, yeah. Right at the
I
bottom.
see. Oh, it's at the bottom, is it? Oh, it's doing this. Status isn't passing.
No, that's because it is building, but it's not. It hasn't passed yet. You see the yellow dot there at the bottom?
Oh, okay. Oh, so that's that was it. You see, this is where Sempreti told me about the push, which I should have
And
done.
if you look now, it says David Culkin and others added some
Yeah.
commits 13 days ago, but they're just given just for your information, and it's not it's not mixed up with your commits.
Oh, let me see. What are you looking at?
Just there on the screen. If you if you scroll down on this page,
Oh, sorry.
your page, your browser.
Yeah.
Right, scroll down,
Mm-hmm.
and now you can see all your commits there. And now scroll further down. Stop. See,
Yeah.
it says here David Corkin and others added some commits,
Yeah.
but they're not mixed with your commits.
Excellent. That's what I wanted.
That's what the rebase has done. It has taken all the changes from different people, from Sam and David and everybody else, and just put it on top. Well, in this case, it did it on top because they did it after you.
Yeah. Oh, before me.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, okay. So if they did it after him, then they'll show up. But any that came before,
If they came before, they wouldn't show up at all.
okay, that's what I was wondering. So that's what happened with mine also. So the 3 commits that David Corking did yesterday.
And now imagine what happens when you do a merge. So you do some work, and then some other people do some work. You merge it into your work, yeah, and then you commit. And that means even though those people did that work after you, it comes before some of your commits because you merged it in somewhere in the middle. But anyway, this looks good. I mean, this looks like all the changes are only related to what you've done. I mean, this has been added later by other people.
I've got this. This one isn't mine. This is David Corkin, the Vagrant file. But this is looking better. This file, for example, this change.
Yeah, because they just added. They just added on top from from the latest develop.
And you see, this is better also for you to review because this is one of the comments you said. Set up a before filter, and you can see now what I've added the line you want and remove the superfluous lines. So it's easier to review as well. And there's my little private. What's it at the end?
Sure. No, I mean now it's all a lot cleaner.
It is.
We just see the additions. We don't see all the fiddling about.
Yeah. Now these are the changes I've made over the last few days. So this is looking a lot better. That one that I haven't changed. I don't know what that's about. You asked me about this, by the way. Active record version, and do we have 4 indices? And I think, yeah, I was puzzled when I saw that as well. However,
Brian is saying, okay, let's trust the gem. I mean, it looks weird, but okay, fine. If they think it's all right, fine. We're not using Rails prior to number 4, so it's okay.
What I noticed was the vote scope feature was only added in end of December, January time. So it was an afterthought. So maybe that's why.
I was just saying that I cannot promise that this particular pull request is absolutely clean, and it doesn't have changes from other people. But I promise you that in the future, when you do rebasing, it will look a lot cleaner, and usually you wouldn't have changes from other people in it.
Yeah.
Christian, I have a question that's not totally relevant, but I'm wondering in the votes table, there's a votable ID and a voter ID. I imagine the voter ID is the user. What's the votable ID?
An article, a comment.
Okay, that's the. Oh, okay, could be a comment or okay, could be anything.
It's an object that is being voted on. It can be anything.
I see. Cool.
That's what's called the polymorphic field. As in, it can it can have any types. It can be a user, a comment, an article, whatever.
Nice. I didn't know you could do that. Okay, that's nice.
Well, that's the way they implement it. It's very good. It makes all you need to do, and we should be able to find this somewhere in the in the model.
Okay, I can see your pull request looks much nicer.
I have a follow-on question then. The votable ID. How does it know which? Oh, it's because of votable type, right? That'll tell you what class.
Yes, it does a class name on the thing you're passing into it, or what it's been added to. You actually add.
And then it indexes the two of them together. Oh, that's cool.
The thing is, there's also such thing as serialize in Rails. Well, in many databases, but in Rails as well. So if you mark some field as serializable, you can actually save anything into it. It's just the object, any object, like, I don't know, whatever, application object. Before it gets saved into that field, it gets serialized into a hash with all the properties of the object.
Okay.
And then you can just pull it out of that field, and have an object.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I could have done that pull once I read that push -f once I'd read the comment, but I also, I've worked and sort of managed little groups of people like this commercially, and the last thing you want is people sort of pushing things willy-nilly. You start wondering, well, what's going on? So that was really, why I thought I better stop and talk about it. So it's not just me pushing something up and it gets rebuilt again, and whilst maybe yourself, Yara, or Brian's running through trying to make comments on code I've just submitted.
By the way, let's have a look at the racing tracks. If you still have those racing tracks on your branch.
Oh yes, let's go there. How do I look up the aliases out of interest? Can you remember? Is it
well,
config?
Git history I think shows that. No.
Oh, I can do hist, but that's because
Git log. Do you have git log?
Git hist will me because I do it in this graphical form.
All right.
So this is what I showed you before.
Well, it is straight as a line.
And
now you see exactly. You see, this is what's happening. Your work, like one commit after another, right? You see, defensive programming, blah blah blah. And then you have pulled upstream develop, right?
Mm-hmm.
On the 23rd, pulled upstream develop, and from that it goes a linear history. And now the next changes of people, the changes from other people on the top, they just put on top of that, and the history is still linear.
Yeah, no, I can see what it does. It sort of takes all my changes out, reapplies everything which has happened in the meantime, and then tries to put my changes back in again on top.
Exactly.
Which is a lot easier for me to work with, in a way, because I can see what I've done up at the beginning here, instead of having to run down and find it.
And the good thing is, you can do rebase every day, and it doesn't affect your work. While if you were doing a merge every day, you would, every now and again we would see commits there saying merged with develop, committed the merge into my branch, and so on.
Yeah. And here you can see I was doing merges at this time, so that was what was that, an upstream merge. I'm just wondering where down this tram line here we should see an asterisk at one point, otherwise I don't see why it's being written. And then I say that and I don't see an asterisk. Typical. But there must be one down there somewhere, and that it's this third tram line I'm talking about. Somewhere back in the past, there must be an asterisk which is causing this whole tram, and this is because in those days I was doing merges back in June. Oh, I'm in less. Sorry, yeah. So I can actually search for my name. Oops, that was a silly search.
Can you now have a look at those racing tracks?
I know.
That's what was happening at the beginning in the project, because Thomas, who's the project manager, was strongly well, he just didn't want to learn rebase. He said, I was doing merge for many years, and I'll just continue doing merge. That's it.
Yeah, And
That's what
here,
we're having. You know, like, and when you try to understand, so who was working in what? No chance. You'll never understand it.
yeah, and this is like story. This is my bug fix. It is me, and there's that asterisk I was trying to find
Uh-huh.
on the second tram line coming down. So that tram line goes from April.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, all the way up to here
Mm-hmm.
and now. Um,
Yeah.
that's really helped me. Has that helped you, John? Have you got any other questions?
John's gone, but he said, yeah.
Oh,
He said, good work, thanks, I gotta go.
oh, I didn't see. Big thing on the screen. Well, thanks, Shara. I think that's it. I'm going to just let that Travis build run its
No
course,
problem
and
at all. If you have any question, just ask. I've got to run now to pick up my daughter from the kindergarten,
okay.
but I'll be around in the evening sometime. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to
Yeah.
ask.
So I don't know
And
if you got.
I will do some reviewing on your pull request now once you have it rebased and pushed.
Yes,
Um,
that's what I was going to say. If there's anything else, just add your comments. That was quite a good way of doing it. GitHub is brilliant, isn't it?
GitHub is absolutely brilliant, and this Git tool is absolutely amazing. I don't know. Okay, Linus Torvalds is a clever guy, but honestly, I mean, he just amazes me.
Hmm. I don't know if you read that article, Git from the bottom up.
No, but I should do. I'm
I,
just
I,
googling that already.
because it's it's a lovely article because it doesn't teach you Git from command point of view. It shows you his thinking of how he implemented a source control system, and
Mm-hmm.
it's so clean. It's really like a file system, um, which is what he's good at, isn't it? Kernels and things like that, and
I think so. Yes.
so it's just and it just makes sense, and you realise one thing I never realised: if I write a line of code and put it into a file and do a git commit on it, and I get a hash.
Mm-hmm.
If you write a file with exactly the same content and you do it, at a different point in time on your computer somewhere else in the world, you will get the same hash. And that's what it's doing. It's just I knew it was comparing hashes, but it was from reading that. You must read that article. It's fantastic.
I've just downloaded it, just saving on my computer. But yeah, thanks very much. Thanks very much for this. I would love to read something like this. Sometimes it just amazes me. You think that what you've done is like a cool thing, but then you start reading about other guys doing other things, and you think, wow, how did they manage just even to think about this?
Yeah, no, true.
It's like, I was reading about the Linux containers last night. Do you know anything about Linux containers? The LXC?
No, is that something like a rack space, like a virtual machine hardware?
Exactly. But basically, what happens with a normal virtual machine, you get your hardware emulated, right? And then you run your operating system on this emulated hardware. With
Mhm.
LXC container, you are you're creating a layer between your operating system and the world, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And when you're creating a box which is like laid from your operating system, and anything that runs inside that box thinks that it's talking to its own operating system.
Wow.
And
No.
but the cool thing is you don't have all the overhead of emulating hardware because you're actually working with the same operating system. It's just the processes inside the box, they don't have a clue, that this operating system is inside the box.
I got you. Yeah.
And you know, I was reading about that, and I think, wow. I mean, those guys. And by the way, that thing has been around for 30 years, and like used in production, but it's just not very widely known for some reason. I don't know. But that was, yeah, that was good. Okay, so that was a great session, Christian. I will see you around.
You too.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. See you soon.
Have a nice day.
Bye.
Bye bye.